Good evening, Alison, Zena, Chris, Debbie, Janet McRae. Hello, Janet. Yeah, all comments have changed a little bit. It's all got a little bit changey, but that's the way that it goes somehow. So let's go on to that one and take that one off and go, good evening, welcome to Midweek Deals. I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's good and nobody's covering this storm. We've had the most ridiculous storm here tonight. It's been like thundering and lightning and everything. It's been absolutely crazy. So, oh, Zena, not late tonight. No, you're not, Zena. Chris, Susan, Debbie, Janet McRae. Let's have a look. Yep, just checking to make I'm just checking to make sure YouTube's working, honestly. Because obviously with the storm, we're having to have the door closed. So we'll see. It's blue at the moment, but that means absolutely nothing. I have a disc up there which tells me how the internet is going. So good evening, welcome to Midweek Deals, and welcome to what possibly could be the last Midweek Deals. As everybody knows, those who are watching, Crafts2 and myself will be taking part with Hobbycraft TV. And if you tune into Craft Cave Live tonight at 7 over on John Next Door Official, then we'll tell you when our first show is and give you a little bit more detail. So it is a little bit much to do a Wednesday, a Saturday, a Sunday, and do that as well. So we are currently looking at what we're doing. So you may find that we actually are doing, comments have gone funny. Andy, we haven't had any rain or thunder. Nice evening here in Sheffield. Andy, I'm in Sheffield. We've had thunder and lightning, certainly over where we are in Sheffield. Probably over the other side. And torrential rain twice today. So, to get back onto it, sorry guys. We are actually... comments are going really strange. It looks like Facebook have changed how they actually deal with stuff. So bear with me a second. I'm just going to have a look because I like this to be as interactive as possible. So let's have a look. It says we're live now. Now it comes up with this silly thing where it doesn't show you the comments. Yeah, I don't understand this at all. So anyway, I'll try and help if I can. So switch that over to a more strong piece. So we have got Some amazing deals tonight in what could be, as I said, our last one. So hopefully, I'm trying to work this one out. So I can see comments, but not what I'm doing. So I hope everything's working okay, because it's very, very bizarre. This is just really weird. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to work this one out. So, yeah. So we might be a little bit funny in the comments. We're going to try anyway. So, good evening again. I've waffled for 2 minutes now. So this could potentially be the last Wednesday deal. So this is your last chance to get some amazing products. As you know, over the last few months, we have been working on sort of clearing out some older stock we've got, or stock that we've never put on TV, we've never put out on Facebook. Some of it we've never, ever even put out on, we've never put out on the internet, or we've never put it out on the web. So it's very strange that we're not doing that, but it's not letting me see live comments, so I can't comment to you guys. I don't know what's going on. It's obviously how they've changed it. Good evening, Emma. So what I'm going to go through is I'm going to run it as normal, and I'm sorry if I'm not replying back to you guys, because for some reason it's just not letting me see what's going on. I wonder if it will work on the other one. I'll try that in a minute. So what have we got tonight? Tonight we've got a beautiful collection. Some of you may remember we did some really gorgeous cards with the little they were like little sweet characters, like little gingerbread men and candy canes and cookies and things like that. And that's all from a collection called Sweet Christmas. And what we've got tonight is the rest of that collection. It's absolutely beautiful, but I do have to warn you that this is actually running really low in stock. Jane's actually already added some more stock on. So if you missed out on the, if you actually missed out on the, honestly, sorry, it's going a bit funny again. So if you actually missed out on the fireplace, I'm really sorry. It just went before we even went live. So we have got stock of this bundle left. This is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to move to overhead so that I can show you, because I said to Jane I had so much fun making this. So yeah, I had so much fun making this. Nicholas just said, I cannot keep track of comments. It seems to be a YouTube format. So whoever said hi back, yeah, they seem to have changed it. They're a nightmare, Facebook, for doing this. I don't know why they've done it. We may find that we end up moving over to YouTube and using YouTube comments. Just checking that's actually working. In future, but we'll see how we get on tonight. But I'm trying to keep track of all of the comments on the post as much as I can. These I have loved, and they're really clever. So these first two, let me move the samples out the way, because you know I love to talk you through the dies first. These are genuinely really clever, because you're getting a tag, and the tags are gorgeous. And if you're a foiler, the tags have little bits that will foil in as well. So if you use those old style of foiling, then it may, the old style machines, you can foil this, but it cuts you out this beautiful sort of circle of dots, but it leaves the oval in. But then you get a character with the tag. And I must be honest, the idea of this scaper tag, I definitely want to copy it for next Christmas. So I don't know, I'm going to give it a really good go of doing something similar. So you get the tag, but then you get the character, and this is a beautiful deer. I mean, I looked at that and thought, oh, it's a mouse. It really is. It's a mouse, that. It's not. It gives you the most beautiful deer. Look, with his little antlers and his hat and his bow tie, and everything is die cut. So seriously sweet. So, and I used him this time without the hat, and look how cute he looks without the hat. I've done him in different colours and everything else, but it's I've done him in sort of two different colours, but that, I just think that's so sweet, and it's so easy to do. So that's the first one in this bundle, £8.50, which is absolutely crazy, because this is far less than half price. Because I would imagine, I mean, you know how good we do our pricing on our dies. This would be at least a £9.99 die from us. So originally this has got to have been a £12.99 die. Yeah, it's so different to what we'd normally, you'd normally expect to normally do. So that's your first one. And then we've got a second die in this set as well. And this one, oh, seriously cute. A different style of tag. Again, still got those holes sort of punching through, but a different style of tag in there. Absolutely beautiful. This time you get a penguin, and he's so cute. And look at the penguin. I just think he's just so sweet. Again, a different tag. This time has dots of snow in it. So again, if you foil, you can foil this, or you can ink it. So beautiful, really is. And I used the tag along with a couple of dies that are coming on Saturday, because I used them ahead of time. So these, I think, are coming on Saturday to go with it. But look how the tag works just on its own, just colouring through it. Absolutely gorgeous. So these are £8.50, and you get both of them. And just look, traditional colours along with craft cards, stunning. I'm actually going to show you how to do a version of this one and do a deer, because I love this. I don't know if you can see. Let me go forward and maybe you can see better. Can you see there? Look. I don't think we've done this idea of actually, and people worry about embossing. We've not done this idea of like putting stripes down. It looks like it's colour that's merged in. It's not. We just click. You just click the die in, and it just embosses. It's beautiful. So that's our very first bundle tonight. Thank you. Susan's just said the samples are so sweet. I really think they're so cute. I really think they are. I think they're absolutely beautiful. Then we have to match with them the frame. So again, let's go on to the overhead, because you get to see that a lot better. But you can see the frame is beautiful. So if you got, and I can't find them, I'd already sent them back to Chain, the samples. If you'd got the dies that cut out, if you remember the Little Sweet Christmas collection, there we go. Yeah, where it did the gingerbread man and the candy canes and everything like that. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. They're all in here. Candy cane, cookie, Christmas tree, bow. And then you get a beautiful die in the middle that you can use all year round, like a Moroccan tile. But just works so well. Gay, love the penguins. I am with that. I am with you on that one. But look. So I've done 2 cards with this, and I have used, and I want to get you this one, because if anyone missed out on bear with me if I can get this. There we go. If anyone missed out on the Xmas die that we did, there are a few left individually. I know the bundle sold out, but if anybody did miss out on the Xmas die, there's the individual. So this one, again, let's go forward, show you these a lot better. Look, all I've done, this is actually, I think, relatively clever. I'll try and show this. I cut it in white, then I stuck it onto red, and I cut it in low pressure in red. And I pushed through the Christmas trees and just added a square of green behind each tree. So that looks as if you spent hours paper piecing it. You haven't. But of course, this is my favourite way to do this, because we did this last week, so you know this technique. Look what happens if you put it onto acetate and colour behind it. I mean, all the colours I've got in there, that took no time at all. You get that really high sheen. It's just alcohol markers coloured on the back, colouring onto the acetate. it's just such a clever effect, that, to me. It's something I've done a couple of times and absolutely love it. So that's your second sort of option tonight at just £6.50. Remember, it's free P&P over £20. So always go and have a look on the clearance, add something else in, because I'm not going to pay. I don't do it. I said this to Peter earlier. I said, I'm terrible. I'll spend an extra £10 to avoid paying £3.49 postage. It's me. So I'd rather suggest that one to you. Now we have got, not the deer, but if you love the penguin, you can get that beautiful penguin on its own. So you get the die, the tag, the scarf, the hat, everything is included on that. So you can get that on its own for just £4.50, which is absolutely crazy if you ask me, because that should have been a £10 die to even start with, if not £12.99. Good evening, Karen. My comments have come back. I've managed to click it somehow. Evening, Crafter. Sarah Jane Kennedy, who thought it was Thursday. Yeah, bank holidays throw everybody out, to be honest with you. Then the next one we've got tonight is, and I'm hoping this hasn't sold out, love this. Absolutely love this. And I'm really gutted, because I'll show you on the overhead, I've lost part of this die. And I don't know where it is. I've been through everything. I've even swept the floor today to see if I can find it. And this is the first time I've lost a bit and cannot find it. This is the mug. It's like a mug of hugs. So it's from the family Christmas range, but it matches in so well. But just look at this. Let me show you forward again. Look at that. That is just the cleverest I've ever seen. Good evening, Michael's joined us. Oh, Carol says, don't forget the tickets, LOL. Yep, I asked her to keep reminding me. Remind me when I've gone through all of the products, Carol, and I'll do it then. But look, you even get the cinnamon sticks, or to us, they're 99s, aren't they? They're chocolate sticks stuck in there, and the marshmallow dies, and the cream, and you get the chocolate, which is dripping down the edge of the cup. That's the die I've lost. That's what I'm really annoyed about. So I can't put the chocolate on anymore. So I did my second one without, but that is so cool. How different is that? And I know, or I feel from how the stockings sold, and the stockings did completely sell out, that we're loving figurative dies more now. I really am. It's giving me so much confidence for when we do the haberdashery and the crochet and all of that, because I'm loving figurative dies now. But that is so different, and that's something you could send to everyone at work. To me, that is a work card. It really is. It's one of those cards you send to work, to your work colleagues, or that. I mean, just so sweet, so clever. So that is our third, and this is £3.50. That's why I'm so glad there's some of these left, because I thought, oh my gosh, they're going to go everywhere and they're going to sell out, because to me it was just the best. But then usually when I think it's the best and it's my favourite, it's not everyone else's favourite. I've got to be honest, it's just the way that it goes. So let's go just check. Yeah, that's working. So have we got one more, haven't we? Had I put that on? Oh no, I put the fireplace on, and I'm sorry guys, the fireplace has gone. So those are the dies we've got tonight. Please, if you like them, get hold of them. Something I want to explain. When we did the launch on Sunday night, Tuesday morning to be fair, Jane got calls from lots of people saying, oh, can I have that Marianne bundle? Can I have the stocking? They'd sold out. They don't keep an extra stock or a spare stock anywhere for people who call in. They can't do that one. Oh, Carol says, I love the mug without the dripping chocolate. Do you know what? I think I do, actually. But I don't like losing a die. So please, if there's something you like, don't think, oh, I will ring tomorrow, because you will get disappointed. They can't hold stock just in case. And I know I had a couple of messages early in the week of people saying, are there any more of those? Because they've sold out, and I rang and they haven't got any more. They haven't, unfortunately. It's just the way it goes. So that's a little reminder. Another one I need to tell you. Sorry, I will start demoing in a minute. I've got all the bits. He says quickly pulling them over just in case, so you can see that if things like the card and things, if those sell out, give them a ring because they will have more stock of that. The other thing I wanted to go, two things to go through tonight as well is, number one, America. Jane phoned me before the show started just to say to everyone, we're really sorry, but because of the recent changes in the de minimis way that the American government are dealing with things sent in now, we can no longer sell and dispatch to the US. We are looking to see if there's a way that it can be done, but it has changed as of today. So unfortunately, as of today, if you are in America, you cannot order any longer. What Jane said is, see if you've got a friend in Canada who can order it and post it over to you. So just to let you know that, we are really, really sorry. The other thing Jane wanted to offer is a giveaway. So if you're thinking of going to the Farnborough show, and if you're not, why not? Think about it now. It is as Art of Crafts local show. It is literally 10 minutes from where our Penny and Jane live. They've been given us a load of pairs of tickets, free tickets to get you entrance. So if you're interested in a free ticket to Farnborough, if you just email the Art of Craft, and you can find the website address, the email address, I think it's info@artofcraft.co.uk, and put in the subject title Farnborough tickets, and then write in the body your name and address. They will pick out at random and send you a pair per person who wins of Farnborough tickets. So if you're wanting some tickets for Farnborough, get them off us for now. Don't pay. Yeah, please, honestly, don't pay. Get them from us. Get them off us for free, or at least give it a go before you pay, because they are quite pricey, I believe, Farnborough tickets. I won't be there, but Jane will be there. Penny will be there. Mark will be there. Uncle Peter might even pop in. I know he usually pops in and has a wander round, thinking nobody knows what he looks like because we don't share photos. But you never know, he might be there. So if you're thinking about that, please give that a go. Someone's just said the Art of Craft website isn't working. It's working on mine. It could just be weather. I'm just checking. But yeah, it's working perfectly on mine. So just keep trying. And there is, as far as I can tell, unless it's cached, there are still, of the beautiful collection I'm about to use, there is still stock left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demo, because that's realistically what most of us. A lot of people are not getting live comments. I clicked somewhere else, Nicola, on it, and it came up. So Jenny says use the second link. I think that's what I must have done. I kept clicking everywhere until I could find it. So don't know what's gone on. So what I wanted to do is I'm going to do one of the tags, and I'm going to make up the beautiful, I just think is stunning, deer. And then I'll show you how we do that embossed background. So this is using just one of the, and this is only one of those 850 dies. Let's take those off because we're not doing those tonight. That's me sending mixed signals, to be honest. Right, so I'm going to grab our beautiful deer. Love his hat, really do. And I want to show you another trick with that I only discovered after I've made my original ones. So what I want to do is just cut this, give it a clean out, and it cuts the tag out and the hole and everything. And it's really, really simple. So onto my Kaleido. Trim my card down so I can go in the long way, and I'm just going to cut it, but I'm going to leave it in the die because I really think it's important to age tags. So we're going to need our VersaFine. You know me, I'm a VersaFine vintage sepia. There we go. But you've got this open hole, and it's like, well, why have we got that? It's so that you can ink into it. So I'm going to grab one of my daubers. I still think this is the best thing Crafts 2 ever came up with. They were the first to do this and the cheapest, and they were literally so clever. I think it's so wicked because I lose them. So let me put the link on. Someone's just asked for that. So pop the link on. That will take you to all of the products on tonight's show. And all I'm going to do is just ink. I'm using some of our canvas card. And all I'm going to do is just ink around that edge. And then bring it into the middle. But what it does, can you see? It makes that look 3D straight away. So easy to do. And then take your ink, and I'm doing this flat because this isn't like one of the characters. I want it to cover a little bit more. And all I'm going to do is just literally take the ink around the edge, just like that. Yeah, but it makes the most beautiful tag. Now what I want to do is put that, I want to put some more colour sort of behind that. So I'm just going to take a strip of red, and I'm using tonight, the browns I'm using are from the canvas card. So if anyone's wondering that, and it's from the winter browns, I think it is. The red and green I'm using is the evergreen and the, I think it's called ruby. I don't know. Let me have a look. You know what I'm like? I have to have packs. Yeah. Oh no, I'm using the Christmas red. They're very close to each other, the ruby and the Christmas red. So just going to cut those out. So here we go. So I've just cut one the same in red, but look, every single hole punched. That's what's so good about these dies. They are quality dies. They really are. So I've got my little 2 tags. And to me, that just doing that makes such a difference. So now I want to make my background. So what I've got here is I've got a piece of coconut white card, and I've just cut this to 5 by 5. Yeah. So I'm cutting this to 5 by 5, and then I've taken and I've cut a load of scrap strips of the red, the evergreen and the brown, and I'm just going to put them into my tray. So I'm just using these, this, as you know, this is a sort of drinks can tray. There we go. I won't use all of these on this card, but I will use them on the next or something else. So you won't need as many strips as I've got. And I'm just going to add some spray glue. Now you can, if you want to, use your normal glue. So you can glue them down with a normal glue. However, what I would say is, if you do, you need to leave it to dry and settle. That's why I'm using that's why I'm using spray glue. So I'm using the lines on my mat, and I'm just going to lay that down. So there's a beautiful piece of the brown. Yeah. And I'm going to put the red to one side to make me a smaller and then a wider stripe. I think I'm going to have a stripe of green on there. And I think I'll put a stripe of brown on. Okay. And then I'm going to use a fine stripe of red on that. So there's no set way. I'm just playing with stripes almost. I think that's, and I'm going to add another piece of brown onto here. There we go. So turn it over and just cut out the rest. Now don't worry, and I want to go through this, and a couple of people have asked questions about embossing folders. But just look, I mean, put that on the bottom of one of the tags and put a little sentiment on it. There's so much you can do with these. It really is, it's crazy. So there, although I've got 3 layers, 4 layers of card, I don't worry about it. I'm using my 3D embossing folder, and I'm using retro snowflakes, and I'm just going to put it down onto the outy bit. Now, if you've got the same sort of machine as me, so if you've got a Kaleido, or like the Sizzix Big Shot's the same, the Cuttlebug's the same width, or you've got a Go Power, what you need to do is just use your base plate, your folder and your card, and then your thicker plate. So this would be your B plate on your Go Power. What you need to make sure, and I think this is what somebody messaged about this, I'm not saying who because that's not fair, but they said they've got the corner squished and pulled. Now that can usually only happen if it's hanging out or if it's moved in the sandwich and it gets grabbed by something. Yeah, so if it gets grabbed by something that squishes it, yeah, it's not something else. So make sure it's tucked in and it's kept within, because it won't affect it. If you get one that's squished, it won't affect it at the corner and people won't really notice. But you don't want to do that. You want to keep it as pristine as you can, so don't worry too much. But what you'll notice is I brought my machine is, look, I go up to it and look, oh, it's not as easy. You've got to go and not worry. And if you find that it's too thick, change your plates. So if you find that the sandwich is too thick and it's not going through your machine, change your plates from a 5mm to a 3mm. Yeah. And if you find the 3mm not enough, add extra card or shims like your metal shim until you get it so that it will go through and it embosses. But to show you this, suddenly what we've got is, look, I'm going to show you this forward there. Look, how clever is that? Doesn't that look as if it's a printed up piece of paper? They're all merged and the pattern goes over all of the stripes, so it makes a really nice finished piece. So a great way to use your scraps and get more out of your beautiful embossing folders. So obviously I've got that. So now I'm going to go and grab a bit of ribbon, because I forgot earlier when I was prepping, because I'm an idiot. So I've just got a little bit of red two-tone ribbon. And what I want to do first is put my two tags together. Make a little point and go through, just like that, yeah? And then open the loop, take your two tails through and pull it tight, yeah? Then I'm going to move my tag so that the red is below that. And what I want to do is fix that. So we take a little bit of foam tape and put that in to the red one, move that, put that, and that way I get that little differential between it. I'm not going to cut my tails yet. Now what I want to do now is, obviously I want my beautiful sort of deer to go on it. So what I've done is I've already cut the deer face. Yeah, see if we can come in a little bit. There we go. So I've cut my deer face, yeah? I've cut my deer nose. I've cut my deer antlers. I've cut the bow tie. I've cut the eyes. And I've cut the nose. Now, let me show you on the dies how these actually look. Because this is like, oh, you're telling us to cut a lot. Linda, what is this snowflake embossing folder using? It's mine. It's the John Next Door Retro Snowflake embossing folder, 3D embossing folder. We launched it, I think, at the very end of last year. It was very, very late. So that's the die. Can you see it's got the eyes on it because it embosses those in? I'll show you that in a minute. That's the nose, that's the hat, and that's every other piece. So all I've done is cut it in brown and cut it in black and cut it in red. Yeah? And what you do is you cut these in doubles. So our Nicola's just said, can you cut them in doubles like you do with all the other animal cards? Yes, I'll show you, Nicola. So you can easily, all of them work in doubles. And that's what I do, yeah, because I'm lazy. And Jane always says, how do you make so many samples quickly? Because I cut the animal ones in doubles. So just like that, I've got 2 layers of card. Yeah. Let's grab, oh, honestly. So, onto my base plate, top plate on. I'll just run these through off air because I've zoomed in. Caroline, how do you buy the dies? All you do is click on the link, Caroline, that I've put on now underneath your comment. and that takes you straight to our Art of Craft website, and then it's just like a normal website. You put in your basket what you want, check out, pay whatever way you want to do it. But remember, try and make your basket £20, because that way it's free P&P. But can you see there, look, 2. And both of them have got the eyes embossed. But even the same, with the bow tie, I get 2. So what I actually do is I cut this die on a piece of brown and then on a piece of black, just to show you they all come out, look. That way I get the brown antlers and the black nose and black eyes really simply. And all we want to do now, again, is to 3D them and make it obvious where we're gluing things. So I'm going to take, again, VersaFine Vintage Sepia. And all I want to do is, let's use this one, is just hold him in the air and flick that brown ink all the way around. Just like that, because you see it 3Ds him. Place him down flat and just rub a little bit of ink on, and it'll make the eyes a little bit more obvious, and it makes it a little bit more 3D. Yeah, I'm doing exactly the same with, I think it's called the muzzle, this, which is a bit sort of out of order-ish. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit on the antlers, just do them in place. Yeah, and where's my bow tie? Oh, there, it's stuck to me. It's stuck to my little finger. And I'm going to do exactly the same on the bow tie. Just like that. It just helps to 3D it a little bit more. Make it look less raw. Right, someone's just said, Emma said the website's going slow, and Debbie says the Art of Craft website has crashed. Yeah, sorry guys. I don't know why it is running for me, but maybe that I've got a cached version. But it is running fine for me, which is not good. Let me try going from one of the links and see what happens. But what you can do is, if things don't work now, you can always, I can't find it now. You can always try a little bit later, hopefully. Sorry guys. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. So I'm going to use my 4-in-1 tool. I'm going to use my glue glaze. This is, you know, always the thing that I always say to add into your basket to take it up to the postage. So I'm going to take the eyes and just drop them in to the little slot almost that's there. It's really hard to see on the camera, but it's physically there for me to see. So I'm just going to drop that in, but that way the eyes are absolutely perfect. But at this point you could make him into a mouse. You really could, you know, you really could. What's our Nicola just said? What's Wednesday, Saturday and Sundays when John is demoing, he always crashes it. I don't always crash it. It did go a bit funny on Sunday night, I was told. Yeah, Jane told me it did go a bit bad on Sunday night, so sorry guys. So here we go. I'm just going to add that on like that there, but you can see there, that's how we turn it almost from a mouse into a deer. Then we've got his little nose and his little mouth. So cute. So again, a little bit of glue glaze, and don't worry if you go in the wrong place with the glue glaze, because you can always, you know, it always dries clear. I've never had a condition where it ruins it. But now suddenly look, he looks like a deer. He's so cute. The antlers, I'm going to put those on. Nicola says she likes the idea of making it into a mouse. It's very mouse-like to me. I thought it was very mouse-like. So let's get that one. And, oh, I think I hear a car coming back. So I think that might be our Sammy coming home. So let's just put those on, because this is the craft cave's in the garage. You know, there's no expense spent with us. They literally, the craft cave is in the garage. And then I'm just going to add, and what I want to do for this is just add a little bit on the bottom of his muzzle there, and then I'm going to add on his bow tie Just so sweet. But there you can see then he starts to have that real look of a deer. Now, there is a hat in here. So I'm going to cut the hat because I want to show you a little trick with the hat if you want to use it. I'm not sure if I'm going to use him on this one. So all I'm going to do is tape him down to a little bit, again, of that Christmas red or the ruby card. It's beautiful. I've not used brown, red, green and white a lot, but I'm really glad I've done it tonight. I'm loving this colour combination. The stockings would have looked fab in that, wouldn't they? So let's just, there we go. I've got a little bit of spray glue stuck on my plate, so it's making my plate sticky. So, Suzette, can't find them on the site, which fine. They're all on the Art of Craft site, which a couple of people are saying that is actually crashed for them at the moment. It will come back up, don't worry. But the click on the link should take you there. And let me just test it for everyone. But yeah, the Craft Cave's in the garage. And Leslie is one of the few people who's seen it. So, yeah, the website, you might find it better to go into the website directly. So this is, again, a trick of what they've done. Can you see they've left space open in the die? So I'm going to take my Snowball, which is our white fusion ink, the Aurora Borealis one. And I'm just going to take, again, that's where I put them away. So I'm just going to take my white dauber and just colour through. And that's how you can get a real snowy look. Now, it's white. White is a nightmare sometimes. So you might want to put 2 or 3 coats on. Yeah. Karen says the car has to stay outside. It does. Sammy's car is on the drive. My car is parked on the grass next to it. But you see there, look, how much more realistic does that look? It's so clever. But again, you want to just 3D it. I forgot our Carol's seen the Craft Cave as well. She has, bless her. We had Carol and Keith, bless him, up here when we first started working together. So, but there you go, 3D hat. And what the hat goes behind his antlers. I mean, look, you can't help but resist. You can't resist this. Oh, Maureen says she's just managed to order, so you might be better going in directly to the website rather than the link we're putting on. But just stick him, there you go, on his hat. How cute. And so I've got my tags. I've got my beauty. I love him. Again, a little bit of foam tape. The hat would work on the mouse as well. Yeah, it would. Yeah, if you make him into a mouse. All you do is draw a little nose and little whiskers on. So let's just put him into place. And then all I'm going to do is, so that's the piece we made. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's come out a little bit. Oh, see, I'm learning. I always say that. I'm not learning, I'm learning. So a little bit of foam tape on here. So I bought myself some craft card blanks. Or actually, I say I bought myself. Sammy bought them ages ago. Can't remember where from. But I found them in the drawer. Because he's really good at picking up things like this for me. So check the Art of Craft, because I'm sure they have all sorts of coloured cards. Moira's just ordered direct from the website. Go directly into the website. It could be Facebook playing us up. So all I've done here is I've cut a piece of white at 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and I've added a little mat of the brown on, just so there's a little bit of distinction. And then all I need to do is to take then a little bit of foam tape onto the back of my tags and pop them on, just going across. And then simply cut off my tails. Oh no, I like them a bit sharper than that. There we go. You nice and sharp. No, you're not sharp either. There we go. Ooh, come on. I'm not doing this very well tonight, am I? But there we go. Oh, Yvonne says it took her 20 minutes but managed to get her order through. Brilliant. Sorry, guys. So that is our beautiful finished card. But as you can see, okay, but I cut everything actually while you were watching. So whilst I got a bit of that prepped, it doesn't take any time. But what a different card to send someone. Absolutely love this. Nicola says, bucket list to meet John and Sammy once in my life. Oh, bless. We will meet at some point, Nicola, I'm sure. We'll work something out. We've got to. We've literally got to. Although, Nicola, we do talk on the phone occasionally. Nicola does have my number, and I do answer. Oh, without the antlers, he looked a bit like a Joey to me, says our Susan. Yeah, he could be. There's lots of different animals you could do with him. There really is. So, that's our first bundle. We've got our frame again. Remember that at £6.50. You've also got the penguin on its own if you want the penguin tag. And we've also got the mug. And I thought, even though I've lost a bit of that, I would show you the mug, because I thought this is really clever. So let's pop us back on the overhead and clear all our pieces out. This is a good time to ask any questions. Oh, thank you, Crafter. Just awesome card, John. Love it. So cute. I think it is really cute. You have to excuse me. I'm hiccuping. So this time, oh, I could put that on top. Again, they've been really clever with this die, because if you see on the original sample, they've all got this stag on them. But the stag is colour through. So if you didn't want the stag, you don't have to use it. It's so easy to do as well. So all I'm going to do is, I got myself a little mini, these are Art of Craft. They do a set of 50, what is it? 50 Christmas 4x4 mini textured red and green Christmas cards with envelopes. Really clever for making your tags and things like that. So all I'm going to do is use that. Now where's the pieces I cut? Honestly, I'd forget my head, me, if it wasn't altered to me there. So I'm going to take a little piece of white, and I'm just going to cut a 3x3 square. Yeah, nice and simple. I'm then going to take a scrap of the green. This is John going into the green box. So we've got all of the Christmas showing, yeah. And I'm going to take, oh no, I do want green because it's on red. So I'm going to cut that down to 3 1/8 and 3 1/8. Get your embossing folders out. Sarah Jane Kennedy just said, definitely need to get our embossing folders out. I've started using an embossing folder on nearly every card I do. I like the way it adds the texture again. I think we moved away from it, and now I'm like, this is so what I want to do. So all I'm going to do is, I've got here Christmas. I've taken this, if you remember, I took the Christmas wishes stamp and cut it in half, so I got just the word Christmas. And I'm going to take a little bit of green ink and a little bit of red ink, because I want to balance them out. Right, Darlene. I did mention this earlier. Darlene said, I'm trying to order, but United States is not listed in the countries to choose from. What do I do? I'm really sorry, Darlene. We did mention this earlier, but as of today, the US Customs have introduced they've taken away the de minims, and what that is basically anything under $800 you used to be able to receive tax-free. That's now been taken away from today. So unfortunately, we can no longer sell or send to America, because there is no way for us to collect that tariff. So there is now a tariff that's applicable, and it is quite a complicated one on a lot of the products. So at the moment, we cannot sell to the USA. I'm really sorry, but we can't do it. We're hoping to come up with some sort of system to be able to do it, but I know a lot of my colleagues and people I've spoken to are in the same situation, in that they can't actually send to America anymore, as they've got no way to work out and calculate what the tariff will be. So bear with us, and we're trying to sort it, but you know, at the moment I'm very sorry, but we can't sell to America. So I put that die just down on white card, and I'm just going to run it through. So I'm going to show you first of all how we do the stag and the Christmassy one. Then I'll show you another one. So Australia, Nicholas says, Australia is not sending to the USA unless a gift or under $150. Yeah, it's been completely taken away. So the only thing that can be sent now are gifts, and obviously what you're buying is not a gift, unfortunately. Jane said we might have to see if we can do what they used to do years ago, apparently, which was when you place an order, they used to wrap it in wrapping paper and put happy birthday on it, I think, something like that. Probably 20, 30 years ago. So I've just taken some red ink. Yeah, I know, Darlene, I'm so sad about it. I've got so many friends in America. I've got so many friends in America and so many people, fellow crafters, you know, cavers, as people like to say at the moment, in America. And, you know, it's heart-wrenching that we can't do this. But hopefully we can sort it. So all I've done, can you see? I just coloured through the mug. But it's really clever because, look, it has a little slit there, which is how you put the cream in on top. Yeah? But it gives you the stag. So same idea. I'm using, again, the VersaFine Vintage Sepia, holding it in the air. Nicola says, if you have friends in the UK or Canada that can send it to you. Oh, that's an idea, Nicola. If you would have it sent to the UK and they get someone to wrap it up and send it to you as a present. So you just want to open that slit up there and just run a little bit of ink on there. But look, suddenly we've got a 3D mug. If you darken one side a little bit more, it always looks a little bit more 3D to me. That's not as smooth, I've got darker. So that's our mug. Beautifully done. But what if we wanted just a normal mug? We want to use it for Mother's Day, Father's Day. We want to put beer in it or things like that. Yes, whilst I can't say what you've said in the first bit of your comment, Karen, I feel very sorry for all of our all of our US friends at the moment. I really do. Regardless of, you know, where anyone stands, I feel very sorry for them. It does seem there's a lot of trouble for them at the moment. So all I do is just cut that through. Now, because I'd inked through, of course, what it's done is some of the colours come on. Yeah, which is not what I wanted. But if I had got a clean die, then that would come through clean. And you could stick anything else over the top. But it's really simple. So what do we do for the whipped cream? So the whipped cream, which could be whipped cream, it could be foam, it could be a latte, it could be anything. I'm just going to take that down to, again, a little bit of white. And then for the cinnamon sticks or the chocolate sticks, what I do for this is I just take the dies. This seems a bit weird, but it's easier. Take a bit of low-tack tape and lay it down, yeah, on the side, on sticky side up, because these are quite detailed, and put your dies down, because these have ink-it bits. So just put that down like that. Then take your VersaFine and ink it like a stamp. A lot easier when you've got the mat. Then take a scrap of card, and I need to use, and what I use is a light brown. So I grab a scrap of light brown card and just place it down and press. Yeah, that stops the ink dyes moving by using that bit of tape. It's something I've not done before, but it really works. I've not shown you before. Some of your smaller Christmas dies would fit any of them really and make it an any occasion mug. They would. So many small dies would work. I mean, if you actually, to be honest, There's a lot coming through in haberdashery that would fit on the mug. If you wanted to make someone, you know, a hug in a mug for somebody who is, say, a crafter, you could put a ball of wool on it or a needle or all sort of crochet hook. But can you see there, look, how sort of cute they are with that little bit of inking. So I'm just going to darken them a little bit, just so they look a little bit more realistic. Let's cut our cream. And then I think I'm going to have to finish very quickly, because A, it's getting near time, and B, I really need to lit to the little boys' room. See, we do share. In the craft cave, we just share. We're just honest. We just share. So if you are watching now, remember, switch over to John Next Door Official, and I'll be doing an hour of just demonstrations from 7 o'clock onwards. So all I've done is ink through. Yeah. You see there, look, it's got like chocolate or foam in it. Again, ink it. But watch, that slides in. So it's inside the mug. Yeah. We can go for one cinnamon stick or straw in the back. One going the other way in front. Just like that. What a clever mug design. Turn it over. Little bit of ticky tape. And then a little bit of foam tape. My desk is messy, so this is going to come look messy now. Onto there. I could add marshmallows. I'm going to run out of time, so I'm not going to get time to add marshmallows on. I am really sorry. So, yes, it's been ordered. It's awaiting delivery. We're not sure where it will. I think it will probably be what we're calling like an art of craft or a retail exclusive. So it will only be available directly from us here in a few weeks' time. So don't worry, Sarah Jane, it's been done. And I've split it into different sets, so you can just pick the bits you want, but it makes so it's more affordable. But look, how cute. And it looks so 3D. Sorry, you got my face then looking pleased with myself. Look. But as I said, that could be any occasion. You can change that round to be for any occasion at all. So remember, if there is anything that you want from tonight, please click through to the Art of Craft. Please click through to the Art of Craft and you'll be able to purchase anything that we've got that's still in stock. Remember, it's free P&P over £20. We send everywhere, unfortunately not the US at the moment, but we're hoping to solve that one out. And I will be back with more news and chat and probably not as much demo because I'm tired. No, I did say I'd sew. I'm going to sew. Terrible. So we'll be doing that at 7 o'clock over on John Next Door Official. So get yourself a quick cup of tea, nip to the little boys or little girls or the powder room or whatever, and hopefully see me back on John Next Door Official at 7 o'clock in 5 minutes' time. Thanks for watching.